Hello everyone, and welcome back to another FinnPherb video. Before we get started, please like and subscribe if you want to, because according to YouTube, well, you just see it. Alright, now we can talk about a fun game that used to exist. Well, it still exists, just no one really plays it anymore. It's an Angry Birds game. Everyone loves Angry Birds. Every Angry Birds game is pretty much super fun to play. Well, there is the exception of Angry Birds Pop and Angry Birds Match, but we aren't here to talk about that. The Angry Birds Go game was, in a way, its own masterpiece. It was a racing game made by Rovio, but it has Angry Birds instead of people. I really enjoyed playing that game. Well, now we can talk about the playable characters. There are plenty of characters to choose from in this racing game, but you have to unlock them. Classic Rovio, making you have to pay to win if you don't want to grind the game for 18 bajillion hours to the infinitieth power. There are 13 different characters that you are able to play as, however one of them was a temporary character that we will get into after the other 12. Well, everyone loves Red. He was the starting character in Angry Birds Go, and the most memorable bird in the Angry Birds franchise. In the original Angry Birds Go, Red wanted the tall, delicious-looking cake, so he threw a pig off his car and rode in it. Red's power-up consists of a decent burst of speed to either knock opponents around or speed up to the finish line. And the next character that you were able to get was Stella. She's just a pink bird that had her own series on Netflix one time. All the characters are the same speed depending on their cart, so Stella is technically the same speed as Red. Her power-up consists of the ability to go up into a giant protective pink bubble and smash enemies, and it also provided a small amount of extra speed. Bomb is the next character that you unlock. He's a bird that is basically living TNT, as in the name. His power-up makes him explode, so all opponents in a nearby radius spin out. The next character, or characters, I should say, you can unlock were the Blues, Jim, Jake, and Jay. They are the birds that launch into the piggies' buildings and specialize in breaking glass in the slingshot game. They have a decent power-up that is basically Red's power-up, but broken down into 3 separate uses that are short increments of speed boost. King Pig Smooth Cheeks, or, more commonly referred to as just King Pig, is the loud, annoying crybaby king of the pigs. He just steals the birds' eggs and tries to eat them, but ends up failing miserably every time. The Slob of the King's power-up consists of him being able to fly in his cart held up by tons of balloons. It gives a short burst of speed and makes it so you don't hit any obstacles. Terrence, the silent but deadly hulk of a bird, has an okay power-up. It basically just strikes the nearest opponent with lightning and slows them down. Foreman Pig is the construction overseer of the pig's building projects. However, his power-up does not represent building, but however, he is enabled to toss TNT at the nearest opponent, or wherever you would like to aim at. Bubbles is by far one of the best birds in Angry Birds. He bubbles up and destroys a large amount of material in the original game, but in the Angry Birds Go, he bubbles up and runs over any obstacle / opponent in his way, also granting Bubbles a decent speed boost, maybe comparable to Red's. Matilda is that one bird that, according to Red and in the Angry Birds movie, shoots fireballs out of her butt. But in the games, it's just eggs that explode. In Angry Birds Go, she does exactly that, shoots eggs that blow up opponents to make them spin out. The next character is Corporal Pig. He just guides the pigs into battle against the birds, obviously not very well. His power-up lets him swing around his hat for a short amount of time, 3 times to knock around any opponent stupid enough to get near him. He also, if you tap the power-up use bar 3 times, will spin all 3 hats around him at once. Hal, the boomerang bird in the normal game, has a power-up nothing like his special move in the classic Angry Birds game. He sends out a tornado and it engulfs any opponent in his path. By far the best bird in the Angry Birds Go, Chuck is known for his good looks, not so bright mind, and more importantly, his speed. In Angry Birds Go, his power-up is just that. It's a super upgraded version of Red's power-up, and if Chuck is in last place somehow, his power-up will surely take him straight to first. Finally, last but not least, Cinnabird, which is just a reskinned version of Chuck, had 2 variants. The first variant had some brown hair and a red racing jacket, while the other one had a yellow helmet / full bodysuit with a racing stripe down the middle. This guy was playable at almost any time in the 1.8.7 update until version 2.0 came out and soiled the Angry Birds Go's good name. But we will get more into that after we talk about the gameplay. It's mostly just your average Joe mobile racing game, but with a twist. The racers are Angry Birds. There were two control options, which were either tilting the device to turn and two little arrows on both sides of the screen that you press to turn left and right. The main idea of this game was to upgrade your cart, which takes a lot of time and effort in both the before 2.0 and 2.0 updates. It was kind of pay to win before the 2.0 update if you didn't want to grind for a while or get a really good cart without purchasing diamonds to buy it. In the 2.0 update, however, they added blueprints and cart parts, so you had to actually try to get stuff instead of being able to upgrade / buy stuff with coins in the sub 2.0 updates. The UI of the game changed dramatically from the before 2.0 update to the 2.0 updates. Whereas you had a tree to select your characters and a good cart selecting thing to buy by scrolling before 2.0, and in 2.0 you had to just pick your car and character all too simply. Sub 2.0 had energy levels for each bird, which were measured in cupcakes. But in 2.0, it was just one energy bar that you had to wait a while for it to fill back up. Added in the 1.4 update, online multiplayer was added to Angry Birds Go, where you could race a random person, or you could race a friend that was on the same internet as you. This is the exact same in the 2.0, however, you could only race friends that were on the same internet, so only local play. It was extremely easier to get gems before 2.0 update, so it wasn't super pay to win. Before I get riled up by the 2.0 update, I will tell you about the specific races and the types of levels. There are three main races types that are still available in the game. The regular race is just the first to the finish line and to get into the top 3 or you don't win. The time trials race was basically a beat the clock scenario. You don't beat the clock and you lose. The last one is the fruit smasher race. You have to smash fruit with your car until the bar reaches the top to win. If it doesn't reach the top before you reach the finish line, you lose. There were 5 separate types of maps you can play on, which were Seedway, which is just a normal track that's easy to control on, Rocky Road, which you have basically no traction whatsoever, but it's still easy to drive on, and Air, which you just fly through the air in a modified Seedway map, basically, and Sub-Zero, which is just a slope-filled map with snow. Now I will get into if Angry Birds Go is still worth playing in 2022/2023. Is Angry Birds Go still worth playing? The short answer is yes. However, if you were to download it straight off the Google Play Store or Amazon App Store or whatever it would be like, it would be the 2.9.4, I believe, and that version is okay, except for every version below it is way better. It still has the base gameplay of racing, which is still fun still. However, there's probably a way to get the older versions of Angry Birds Go, so if you want to try something like that out, then be my guest. Well, if you are looking for a fun game to play, or just to kill time, you can still play it, as far as I know, because I can still play it. Alright, if you made it this far, thanks, I really appreciate it. This video took a while to make, and I did work on it for a little bit for the images, clips, and thumbnails for the video. If you would like me to do more commentaries like this, with the background Bedwars playing, just let me know in the comment section. Bye, thanks for watching.